What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wings of Redemption, and I'd like to go ahead and do some apologizing. It was a bad night tonight on me on Twitter, and I was feeling really low, and I said some things to some people on Twitter in the Bad Kid Show that I kind of regret now, but I didn't want to apologize when they asked me to apologize to them because I felt like it would be seen as a fake apology. And I'd like to say I'm sorry to El Presador and White Boy. I said some things that I didn't mean at the time, and they were said out of anger. And sincere apology. What I'd like to talk about in this video, though, is something entirely different. What I'd like to talk about is why I didn't pay my taxes. One of the big things was talking about, like for most of you that follow me know, was that I got in a little trouble with the IRS in 2011. And to kind of backtrack why I got into why I got into trouble with the IRS, and through mostly fault of my own. For those of you who've been following my channel for a while, knows I used to have a girlfriend named Shalene live with me, and Shalene was what I consider my first real girlfriend. She wasn't my first girlfriend. That honor goes to a girl named Catherine Dew. But she was the first person I really, really cared about and just didn't want to drive around with and have a hard dick on. I mean, I cared enough about her to look past everything she had and take her in, kids and all, because I really cared about her as a person, and I still do to this day. I don't think I'll ever lose that emotional feeling for her, even after everything was done. And what it ended up being is a burden on me monetarily that I couldn't fulfill. But I didn't want to seem like I was weak at the time. And a lot of this came through me not understanding how taxes work and learning as I go. I mean, before every other job I had before I took in kids, Shalene into kids, was something working for somebody else. I would basically, have taxes taken out of my check. And yeah, I'm trying to stop saying, I want to say it again. I would have taxes taken out of my check, and I'd go about my day, and whatever money was left over in my check was mine to keep. Everything was normal and peachy. And then I got in a position where I was making a lot more money. But the fact is, I looked at a lot more money as my threshold of spending at that point. Even though I knew I had to pay taxes, I kind of underestimated the taxes, and I ended up owing a lot more than I owed. And now, after the fact, and after all the stress, I do see where I am, and I'm slowly getting back on track. Hopefully, by the February or March of 2013, I'll be 100% back on track, and not have to worry about that no more. But with that being said, I really didn't want to feel like I let them down. I didn't want them, because they looked up to me as this great provider, and I didn't want to feel like I wasn't any less a provider as somebody else would be, because one of the fears I have in life is letting people down, and I can't stand letting people down, and I love it when rely on me, and I just sometimes wish that my reliability would come at easier cost. I mean, sometimes you gotta stress, sometimes you gotta do this, and and sometimes you gotta even take your kindness and know that it has limits. And I have a hard time understanding that kindness should have limits. I'm the kind of guy that before YouTube, basically how I would feel like I would touch people's lives would help them out. I mean, the very last person I helped out was a Spanish gentleman, and everybody was driving by him on the highway. And because he was an older guy, but he looked like he was down on his luck. So I stopped and I asked him. I obviously felt a little comfort because I had a bottle of pepper spray in my pocket. I usually keep in the door pocket of my truck. But what had happened, he had ran out of gas and he had no money for gas. And so what I did is I took him up to the gas station. I put $20 into a can, drove back, and I basically filled his car up. And he was able to go home. And what he ended up doing is he ended up driving back to my work, because I had just pulled out of work and he had seen it. And he gave me my money back when he could. And Nobody else would help that man but me, and I felt good because of that. But, you know, not everything you ever do is something you're proud of. And everybody makes mistakes. Been your boy Wings of Redemption. Thank you for watching my video. If you'd like to, check out my Facebook in the description. I put most of my cool pictures on there. Peace.